My dear friends, there comes a moment in every life when the invisible hand of God begins to move in ways that cannot be mistaken. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but your spirit feels it. Something shifts, something stirs, something awakens within you. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is the divine preparing you for a blessing greater than anything you have held in your mind before. Whenever God is about to give you something big, the universe itself starts to align. Doors you thought were closed suddenly unlock. People you never expected appear with answers. Obstacles that once intimidated you begin to crumble. Your subconscious mind becomes charged with a new vibration, a new expectancy, a new spiritual momentum. It is as if heaven whispers into your soul, "Get ready, I am about to expand your life." These signs are not random. They are indicators that the infinite intelligence, the same power that created galaxies, stars, and the breath in your lungs, is now working directly in your favor. You are being guided, shaped, strengthened, and positioned for something extraordinary. And when these 7 signs begin to appear, understand this truth. God is not preparing the blessing for you. He is preparing you for the blessing. He is enlarging your capacity to receive, deepening your faith, sharpening your intuition, and aligning your inner world so you can carry what is coming with grace and power. So open your heart, quiet your mind, and step into this revelation. By the time you finish hearing these words, you will know clearly, confidently, undeniably, whether God is about to release something massive into your life. The signs are already around you. Tonight, you will finally see them. There comes a season in your life when something inside you refuses to stay where it has always been. It is subtle at first, a quiet discomfort, an inner stirring that feels like a gentle pull towards something you cannot yet see. You begin to sense that you have outgrown certain thoughts, certain habits, even certain environments. This restlessness is not anxiety. It is not confusion. It is the divine signal that God is preparing you for a larger chapter. When God is about to give you something big, He often begins by making your old life too small for the person you are becoming. What once satisfied you no longer nourishes your spirit. What once felt normal now feels restrictive. This shift is the earliest and most profound sign that you are being positioned for something extraordinary. You may find yourself waking up with a sense that more is coming, even if you cannot explain why. There is a subtle pressure in your soul, urging you to grow, to rise, to move beyond the walls you once accepted. You start questioning routines you never questioned before. You look at your own patterns and suddenly feel the need to break them. That is the subconscious mind responding to divine direction. God begins molding your inner world before He unveils the outer blessing. This is His way of preparing the soil before planting the seed of something great. Restlessness, therefore, is not the absence of peace, it is the movement of spiritual transformation within you. During this time, you may feel a strange mix of dissatisfaction and anticipation. You are not unhappy, yet you are not fulfilled. You are not lost, yet you feel there is somewhere else you are meant to be. The reason is simple. The Spirit knows long before the mind understands. God's plans begin working inside you before they become visible outside you. What feels like discomfort is actually God expanding your capacity. He stretches you inwardly so that you can hold the greatness He is about to release into your life. Without this inner stretching, the blessing would arrive, but you would not be ready to receive it. This restlessness shows up in different ways. You may suddenly feel the urge to improve yourself, to read, to learn, to grow, to pray more deeply. You may feel drawn to change your environment, your habits, or your mindset. Some people experience this as a burning desire to start something new, a business, a project, a shift in career, or a new chapter of personal development. Others feel it as a strong need to leave behind situations that no longer serve their purpose. Whether the push feels gentle or intense, the meaning is the same. Something bigger is calling you forward. You might also notice that old cycles become harder to tolerate. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. Environments that once felt comfortable now feel limiting. You may feel disconnected from the very things that once defined you. This is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are evolving. The subconscious mind is realigning with a higher destiny. God is withdrawing your energy from the old, so He can direct it toward the new. If He allowed you to remain comfortable, you would never move. So He places this divine discomfort within you as a signal. It is time to rise. In these moments, trust the inner push. Do not resist it or interpret it as something negative. You are being guided, not confused. You are being reshaped, not shaken. The spirit inside you is whispering, prepare yourself. What is coming requires a higher version of you. You are not restless because something is wrong. You are restless because something is right. Your faith is being awakened. Your identity is being strengthened. Your purpose is being activated. This is the sign that God is getting ready to enlarge your territory, to elevate your life, and to release blessings that will require a more expanded version of who you are. You may not know where the path leads, but the restlessness is proof that God is leading you. Embrace it. Welcome it. Let it guide you. This is the divine preparation phase, the spiritual awakening that announces that a great blessing is not far from reaching your hands. There are moments in your life when something ends so abruptly, so unexpectedly, that you may not understand what is happening. Relationships shift, connections fade, opportunities dissolve, and routines that once felt stable suddenly collapse. These endings can feel uncomfortable, sometimes painful, and often confusing. But when God is preparing to give you something big, He frequently clears your path by removing what cannot go with you into your next season. These endings are not punishments, they are divine preparations. They are the spiritual housekeeping necessary before a greater blessing arrives. God cannot pour new wine into old wineskins, and so the old must be released before the new can be received. You may wonder why certain people who were once close suddenly grow distant, or why circumstances that seemed promising unexpectedly close. It may feel like loss, but in truth, it is alignment. God sees what you cannot see. He knows the future chapters of your life, the responsibilities you will carry, the blessings that will demand your full attention and purified space. If He allowed certain connections or situations to continue, they would interfere with your ability to receive what He is sending. So He removes them not to harm you, but to protect the destiny He is shaping for you. What looks like separation is actually elevation taking shape in the unseen. Sometimes these endings come with emotional weight. You may feel abandoned, rejected, or disappointed. But understand this deeply. Divine endings are always purposeful. Nothing God removes is essential to your future. If someone leaves, their part in your story is complete. If a job closes, its chapter is finished. If a plan falls apart, it was never aligned with where God is leading you. The subconscious mind may resist change because it craves familiarity, but your spirit recognizes that the old must fall away to make room for something greater. These endings push you out of stagnation and into transformation. There is also a cleansing process within these separations. God not only removes people or situations from your life, He also removes versions of you that no longer align with your destiny. You may notice a decline in interest for things that once mattered to you. Habits you once depended on may fall away naturally. Old desires fade, old fears loosen their grip, and old identities become too small to fit the person you are becoming. These inner shifts are a sign that spiritual growth is occurring. God is pruning everything within you that cannot carry the weight of what He is preparing to give you. You might find yourself letting go of things you once held tightly. This is not weakness, it is maturity. It is spiritual obedience. Divine endings often require trust because God rarely explains his movements in the moment, but he will always confirm them in hindsight. One day you will look back and realize that what you thought was rejection was actually redirection. You will see that the door that closed was saving you from a path that would have limited your growth or delayed your blessing. God always moves with precision, even when his movements feel disruptive. During this season, you may also experience accelerated change. Things that stayed the same for years may suddenly shift in weeks or even days. This is because when God moves, he moves quickly. He does not waste time when you are approaching a significant breakthrough. He removes distractions, detaches you from unhealthy dependencies, and separates you from environments that would suffocate your destiny. These rapid changes are not chaos. They are divine order unfolding at a pace your conscious mind struggles to keep up with. But your spirit knows that this acceleration is a sign that something big is coming. It is important to trust this process even when you do not fully understand it. Instead of holding on tightly to what is ending, allow it to pass gracefully. Release with faith, not fear. God will never take something from you without the intention of replacing it with something better. The endings you are experiencing are clearing the runway for the arrival of a blessing so large that the old environment cannot sustain it. You are being repositioned, recalibrated, and redefined. These divine separations are not losses, they are upgrades, concealed in temporary discomfort. So when things fall apart or people walk away, do not see it as failure. See it as God whispering, "I am making room." You are not losing, you are leveling up. You are not being abandoned, you are being aligned. You are not being reduced, you are being prepared. These endings are the sacred signs that God is about to introduce something far bigger, far better, and far more aligned with the purpose he has placed within you. Let the old go, for the new is already on its way. There comes a time when your spirit becomes unusually sensitive, almost as if your inner world has turned up its volume. You begin noticing things you would have overlooked before. Your intuition becomes sharper, your awareness more heightened, and your dreams more vivid. This is not a random spiritual phase, it is a powerful sign that God is preparing you for something big. When heaven is about to shift your life into a new dimension, your inner senses awaken before your outer reality changes. The subconscious mind becomes a receiver of divine signals, and you start picking up messages your natural mind cannot yet interpret. It feels like an inner knowing, a quiet certainty that something significant is unfolding beneath the surface. You may experience moments where you sense danger before it appears, or feel peace in situations that logically should bring stress. You might not understand why, but your intuition begins to guide you with unusual clarity. These promptings are not simply thoughts, they are spiritual instructions. God often uses intuition as his whisper, gently nudging you toward the path that aligns with your destiny. When you are on the brink of a major blessing, these nudges become more pronounced because the stakes of your decisions become higher. God sharpens your sensitivity so you can discern what is for you and what is not. Dreams also become more meaningful during this season. You may wake up with impressions, symbols, or messages that feel strangely relevant. You sense that the dream carried weight, even if you cannot fully explain it. This heightened dream activity is the subconscious mind communicating in imagery, revealing truths your conscious mind is not yet ready to receive. God often speaks through dreams because the mind is quiet, open, and receptive while you sleep. In these moments, he can bypass your fears, doubts, and reasoning, delivering guidance directly to your inward being. When a blessing is near, your spiritual senses activate to help you recognize and respond to divine direction. You may notice an increase in synchronicities, moments that feel too purposeful to be coincidences. Repeating numbers, recurring themes, conversations that appear at the exact moment you need them, or scripture verses that suddenly speak directly to your situation. These are signs that the universe is aligning itself with heaven's plan for your life. God orchestrates these patterns to reassure you that you are on the right path and to help you stay spiritually alert. This heightened awareness is a way of preparing your consciousness for the transformation that is approaching. There is also a deep inner knowing, a feeling that cannot be shaken. You may not have evidence, but you feel that you are moving into a new season. You sense that what you prayed for is already on its way. This knowing brings a strange calmness, even in moments of uncertainty. It is the subconscious receiving confirmation from the divine. God places this knowing within you so that when challenges or doubts arise, you will remain anchored in faith. This inner conviction is a sign that your blessing is not only coming, it is already in motion behind the scenes. During this time of heightened sensitivity, you may also feel more connected to your spiritual practices. Prayer feels deeper, meditation feels richer, worship feels more intense. You find yourself craving time alone with God, seeking clarity or reassurance. This is the soul preparing itself to receive. God draws you closer so that your spirit remains aligned with His will. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the more spiritually awakened you become. It is a divine reaction to the blessing that is approaching your life. You might also feel more easily affected by energy places, people, conversations, or environments that once felt normal may suddenly feel draining or overwhelming. You can sense intentions more clearly, distinguish sincerity from deceit, and feel uneasy around anything that lacks truth or alignment. This is God protecting you. As your breakthrough draws near, He sharpens your discernment so you can avoid the traps that could delay or sabotage what He is preparing to give you. Your sensitivity is a shield, not a weakness. This spiritual awakening may feel unfamiliar or intense, but it is one of the strongest signs that something big is coming. God heightens your intuition so you can walk with wisdom. He intensifies your dreams so you can receive direction. He strengthens your inner knowing so you can stay anchored in faith. He sharpens your discernment so you can avoid the wrong paths. Every heightened spiritual sensitivity is a divine preparation for the blessing ahead. Embrace it, trust it, and follow where it leads, for it is guiding you toward what God has already prepared for your life. There are times in life when things do not go according to your plans. You find yourself facing delays you didn't expect, detours you didn't ask for, and redirections that seem to push you further from what you desire. These moments can feel frustrating, discouraging, or even confusing. But when God is about to give you something big, these divine disruptions become one of the clearest signs that heaven is actively working on your behalf. What feels like an interruption is often a form of protection. What feels like a setback is actually God steering you away from paths that would have hindered your destiny. His redirections are never random, they are precise, purposeful movements designed to lead you towards something greater than what you had planned for yourself. Sometimes these disruptions come through unexpected obstacles. You may be moving confidently toward a certain goal, only to find the door suddenly closed. Opportunities you thought were secure may slip away. People you relied on may withdraw. Plans that once seemed aligned may fall apart. In those moments, it is easy to question yourself or feel as though life is working against you. But what looks like chaos from your perspective is divine order unfolding at a higher level. You are being redirected for your protection, your preparation, and ultimately your expansion. God sees what lies ahead, and He knows the dangers, traps, or limitations you cannot see. His disruptions are shields, disguised as delays. There are also detours, paths that take you the long way around. You may have envisioned a smooth, straight journey toward your dream, but instead you find yourself moving in circles or being pulled in a direction that makes no sense to you. These detours are not signs of failure, they are signs of divine timing. God uses detours to develop qualities within you that the blessing will require. Patience, resilience, wisdom, faith, emotional maturity. These inner strengths are forged in the spaces where things do not go as planned. The blessing waiting for you is too big to be carried by the version of yourself that exists before the detour. You are being shaped for a higher assignment. Then there are the delays, moments when everything seems to slow down for no logical reason. You may feel ready, prepared, even eager for your next step, yet nothing moves. It is in these seasons that the subconscious mind is being recalibrated. You are being taught to trust God rather than rely solely on your own understanding. Delays are not denials. They are divine pauses meant to synchronize your life with the right timing, the right people, and the right opportunities. What appears to be slow is actually God aligning everything with precision. When blessings are large, timing becomes critical. God will delay your movement until the environment is ready to support your breakthrough fully. Sometimes God disrupts your plans because He wants to prevent you from settling. You may have chosen something small because it was comfortable or familiar, while God has something far greater in mind for you. So He disturbs your comfort. He shakes the ground beneath what you were willing to accept so you can reach for something higher. When a blessing is big, settling becomes a threat to destiny. God loves you too much to let you stay where you no longer belong. The disruption is not punishment, it is invitation. It is God saying, I am preparing something better than what you are trying to hold on to. You may also notice that divine disruptions often come with a strange sense of inner peace. Even when everything around you seems uncertain, something inside whispers, this is right. You may not understand it, but you feel guided. This inner assurance is evidence that the subconscious mind is aligned with higher guidance. God is not only redirecting your steps, He is calming your spirit so you can follow His lead without fear. The peace is the confirmation that the disruption is divine. Over time, you begin to see that every delay had purpose, every detour had a lesson, and every disruption pushed you closer to the destiny God designed for you. Nothing was wasted, nothing was accidental. The very moments you once questioned become the very moments that protected, elevated, and refined you. When God disrupts your plans, it is because His plans are greater. When He blocks a door, it is because the one behind it is not worthy of the future He is preparing for you. These divine disruptions are signs of His love, His foresight, and His commitment to your destiny. So when life doesn't go the way you envisioned, do not be discouraged. Instead, recognize the movement of God's hand. The blessing that is coming is too big for anything less than divine alignment. The path you are being guided toward is better than the one you tried to choose. Trust the delay, embrace the detour, welcome the redirection. God is not stopping your progress, He is ensuring your victory. There are seasons in your life when blessings begin to move toward you long before you ever see them. In these moments, opportunities and connections start appearing almost effortlessly, as if they were drawn to you by an unseen force. This is not luck, coincidence, or random chance. This is divine alignment. When God is about to give you something big, He begins sending opportunities that match the future He has prepared for you. These opportunities may come in the form of people, resources, ideas, open doors, or unexpected help. They appear at just the right moment, carrying exactly what you need to move forward. This is one of the clearest signs that something significant is about to enter your life. Things start happening without struggle. What once felt difficult becomes easier. What once felt distant starts coming closer. What once felt impossible suddenly becomes achievable. At first, these opportunities may seem small or subtle. A conversation with someone new unexpectedly inspires you. A random message or invitation leads to something important. A thought or idea appears in your mind with clarity and timing that feels beyond your control. Even your mistakes begin turning into lessons that push you forward. This effortless unfolding is the universe responding to the spiritual shift within you. When God prepares you for a blessing, your inner world aligns first. As your thoughts, emotions, and energy rise to a higher level, your outer world begins to reflect that shift, pulling new opportunities into your path like a magnet. People are often the carriers of these divine opportunities. Someone may appear in your life who sees your potential more clearly than you do. Someone may offer guidance, open a door, or connect you with the right environment at the perfect moment. These people are not accidents, they are instruments of destiny. Their timing reveals the movement of God's hand. He sends individuals who play a part in your transformation, whether by teaching you, encouraging you, or positioning you for what He has prepared. Pay attention to the people who show up unexpectedly during times of spiritual shift. They often carry keys to your next level. Sometimes the opportunities appear in the form of clarity. You may suddenly understand what you are supposed to do next. Ideas flow more freely. Your mind feels sharper. Inspiration strikes with unusual consistency. This is because your subconscious mind is aligning with divine guidance. God places ideas in your spirit that correspond with the blessing He is preparing for you. These ideas don't bring stress, they bring excitement. They feel natural, purposeful, and deeply aligned with your identity. This clarity is one of the strongest signs that you are stepping into a new chapter. These opportunities often come wrapped in ease. You don't have to force them. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to make them happen. They unfold naturally, as if they were meant for you, because they are. When God sends a blessing, He also sends the pathway for it to manifest. That pathway usually feels peaceful, guided, and supported. You will notice that things begin to connect in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. One step leads to another. One yes opens another door. One decision creates momentum. Momentum is the language of divine timing. At the same time, you may observe that certain opportunities come specifically to replace what you lost. After endings, God often sends beginnings. After separation, He sends alignment. After disappointment, He sends elevation. These new opportunities are not random replacements, they are upgrades. They come with greater potential, greater meaning, and greater purpose. They heal what was broken and complete what was missing. This is how God reveals that you are moving into something bigger. He restores in abundance what was removed. During this season, even challenges may turn into opportunities. A setback might lead to a new direction that is better than the original plan. A closed door may push you toward a door that opens effortlessly. A disappointment may drive you into a breakthrough you never expected. When you begin to see how every piece fits together, you realize that God has been guiding every step. Even what seemed negative was part of the blessing being shaped for you. So when opportunities start appearing out of nowhere, pay attention. When people show up at the right time, pay attention. When ideas flow easily and solutions come naturally, pay attention. When the right resources arrive without struggle, pay attention. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. They reveal that God is actively preparing your life for something greater than you imagined. The ease, the alignment, the sudden forward movement, all of it is evidence that a big blessing is near. Embrace these opportunities with faith, for they are the footprints of the future God is guiding you into. There comes a moment in your journey when something inside you shifts so powerfully that you cannot deny it. Your thoughts become clearer, your confidence grows stronger, and your faith rises in a way it never has before. This shift is not a coincidence, it is a divine preparation. When God is about to give you something big, He transforms your mindset so you can carry the magnitude of what He is sending. Blessings require capacity, and capacity begins in the mind. Before God changes your circumstances, He changes your thinking. Before He opens the door, He strengthens the person who will walk through it. This internal transformation is one of the strongest signs that something extraordinary is approaching your life. You may begin to notice that old fears no longer control you. Situations that once intimidated you lose their power. You stop doubting yourself as much, and you start believing in possibilities that once felt too big for you. This is because God is rewiring your inner world to match the future He has written for you. The subconscious mind starts releasing old patterns, patterns of limitation, insecurity, or unworthiness. You begin to see yourself differently, not through the lens of past failures, but through the lens of divine potential. The thoughts that once held you back lose their influence, and more empowering thoughts rise naturally within you. There is also a renewed sense of clarity. You begin to understand what matters and what does not. Distractions become easier to ignore. You feel less pulled toward things that drain your energy and more drawn to things that nourish your spirit. This clarity is not forced, it flows. It feels as if something within you has awakened and started pointing you toward what aligns with your destiny. That is the subconscious mind responding to divine guidance. God does not give clarity without purpose. He gives it to prepare you for big decisions, big opportunities, and big blessings. This shift often brings a sense of calm strength. Even if challenges surround you, you feel a deep peace inside, an unshakable assurance that everything will work out. This peace is not denial, it is spiritual recognition. Your spirit knows what your eyes cannot yet see. God is aligning things behind the scenes, and your inner world is picking up on that movement. Peace becomes your indicator that the blessing is near. You feel it in your mind before you see it in your life. Your mindset also expands in a way that makes you expect more. You no longer pray small prayers. You no longer dream small dreams. Something in you begins to reach higher, believe deeper, and expect greater. This is because God is enlarging your inner capacity. He is preparing you to receive a blessing that would have felt overwhelming in an earlier version of yourself. The expansion of your mindset is a sign of spiritual elevation. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw problems and solutions where you once saw obstacles. This is the mind of someone being prepared for a divine upgrade. Another sign of this inner shift is that your confidence becomes more grounded. It is no longer based on circumstances, approval, or achievements. It becomes rooted in your identity, who you are in God. You begin to trust your decisions more. You trust your intuition. You trust the process. This confidence is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the result of your subconscious mind embracing the truth that you were created with purpose, equipped with potential, and guided by divine intelligence. This confidence is essential because big blessings require bold steps. You may also find yourself thinking more positively without forcing yourself to. Negative thoughts lose their grip, worries come but they leave quickly, hope becomes your natural state. When this shift happens, it is a sign that your spirit is aligning with God's promise. God cannot bless you beyond the level of your belief, so He strengthens your belief first. He prepares your mind to not only receive the blessing, but to hold on to it, manage it, and grow with it. Then there is the most unmistakable part of this mental transformation. You begin to feel ready, ready for change, ready for growth, ready for something new. You may not know what is coming, but you feel prepared in a way you never have before. This readiness is the final stage of divine preparation. It means the old mindset has been replaced. The fear has been dismantled, the doubts have been silenced, the inner foundation has been strengthened. This entire inner shift renewed faith, expanded perspective, calm strength, intuitive clarity, steady confidence, positive expectation, and deep readiness is proof that something big is on its way to you. God transforms the mind before He transforms the life. And when your mindset begins to rise, it is because your blessing is rising with it. You are being prepared not just to receive something big, but to walk in it fully, confidently, and victoriously. The truth that echoes through every part of this journey is simple yet profoundly transformative. Your mind is the workshop of your destiny, the inner sanctuary where thoughts become experiences and beliefs carve the pathway of your life. Everything you seek, strength, clarity, abundance, peace, healing, breakthrough, begins not in the outer world, but in the quiet chamber of your inner consciousness. And when you learn to govern that chamber with wisdom, faith, and intention, you step into the highest expression of who you were designed to be. Throughout this message, you have seen repeatedly that the power you often search for outside is already within you. It has been waiting for recognition, waiting for direction, waiting for you to rise into the awareness that you are not a prisoner of circumstance, but a creator of outcomes. Your thoughts imprint the subconscious, and the subconscious faithfully reproduces the patterns you give it. When you feed it fear, life mirrors fear. When you feed it courage, life bends toward courage. When you choose confidence, opportunity unfolds. When you choose love, harmony enters your experience. This is not fantasy, not theory, not wishful thinking. This is the spiritual law that governs all creation. As you move forward, remember that no mental habit is too old to release, no emotional wound is too deep to heal, no limitation is too solid to dissolve. The subconscious mind does not cling to yesterday, it responds only to the thought you impress upon it now. So choose your now with intention. Fill your inner dialogue with the language of possibility. Walk with the awareness that you are divinely guided. Trust that unseen forces are arranging circumstances for your good the moment you align your thoughts with your desired outcome. You do not need to struggle, you need to believe. You do not need to force, you need to align. You do not need to chase, you need to embody. Life will meet you at the level of your inner state. Elevate that state, and the world around you rises to meet it. Let this conclusion be the beginning of a new chapter in your existence, a chapter where you no longer underestimate your power, where you no longer negotiate with doubt, where you no longer shrink yourself to fit yesterday's patterns. Step into the truth that your mind is your instrument, and you are the master who tunes it. Your thoughts are creative, your feelings are magnetic, and your faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Trust the process of inner transformation more than you trust external appearances, because appearances shift the moment your inner vibration shifts. Today, give yourself permission to imagine boldly, affirm confidently, expect joyfully, and walk peacefully. Allow gratitude to be your atmosphere, clarity to be your compass, and conviction to be your foundation. The universe responds to the song of your soul, so sing a higher song. Rise above fear, rise above doubt, rise above the noise of the world, and listen to the quiet certainty of your own spirit, telling you that you are capable, worthy, powerful, and guided. You are not here by accident. You are not listening to this message by coincidence. Something within you is awakening, stretching, expanding, reminding you of the infinite power that has always been yours. So go forth with a renewed mind, a strengthened spirit, and an unshakable certainty that miracles follow the one who believes. The keys of transformation are in your hands. The doorway to your greater life is open. Step through it with faith and watch the invisible become visible, the impossible become possible, and your highest vision become your living reality.